Okay, greetings everyone. This is First Centaurian 753 with the next episode of Geopolitical Simulator 4, Irish Imperialism. And in the last episode, take a look at Ireland here. We went ahead and we created, I think we passed a few laws. And these were mostly tax reform laws, increasing company turnover tax and pretty much cutting the deficit in half. In this episode, I think I'm going to go into more of the trade policy, and we're going to focus mostly on agricultural products. If we take a look at farming, only 17%, 17.5% of the activity is in farming, but most of our surpluses are in farming. Manufacturing, we have, let's see this real quick. Oh, 30%. Wow, I thought we were more heavily reliant on farming. But most of our surpluses, I went ahead and I took a look at our surpluses. We have a negative trade balance. Wow, with manufacturing. Back to farming, agricultural, our trade balance is positive. We're going to try to increase that trade balance. I'm mostly going to focus on farming. There's about 10 products that we have a surplus in, and I'd say about 6 of them are agricultural goods. First one we're going to take a look at here is going to be beer. Irish beer is we have a large production of beer. We actually have a pretty good portion of the world's production of beer. If you go ahead and take a look at this, we produce more than most countries in beer. We are 8th in the world in beer production. And if I can get beer production up a little bit higher, looks like I could almost easily get into like the top 5. And possibly I may want to create one of those organizations to have a almost cartel-like situation where we control the price of beer, and we can drive the price up by cutting the production, maybe creating more of a profit. So that's a possible future goal for this. To start off, I was going to try to get a summit with the United States with Ronald Trump here, but I think he's going to reject me right away. Because I was playing and I forgot to turn my sound on, so I played for about 10-13 minutes. I hate when I do it, it's so frustrating. But pretty much when I did it, he canceled right away, so there we go. So we can't do a summit with Ronald Trump. We can organize a meeting with her, who is the Family Values Association, and that can possibly up our popularity a little bit. What I'm going to do, though, is instead of meeting with Ronald Trump, because there's about 5 different categories in those surplus areas, that would have been great to get a deal with. Instead of that, I'm just going to straight up offer a deal to Mr. Trump. And it's going to be a beer deal. We're going to make a beer deal. And we're going to try and bump this up. This is basically what I did last time. We got up to 2.47, which would be a $14 billion increase in the economy. He's going to negotiate it down a little bit, but we're going to get a good price out of this. So we're going to go ahead and send that, and since we can't meet with Trump, I think the next goal for us is going to be joining another organization, and maybe even aligning more with these countries if we do join the organization. And the organization we're going to try to join is, of course, the big dog NATO. This was suggested on the channel. This is the military alliance between the United States, Western European allies, and if we can join this will strengthen our geopolitical situation around the world. So that's going to be that. I did try to meet with other countries like Italy. They rejected me, but I think Portugal was the one that did not. So I could set up a meeting with Portugal, and let's make this a little bit later on. Change the date. We'll push it back to Saturday 25th in February, and we'll see if we can get some deals with Portugal. I do want to see the impact of the beer deal because it will increase GDP. if we seal the deal. If we increase, it's about 5%, I say. If we get about 12, 13 billion dollars, that's about a 5% bump. And there's a foreign policy bump, 1.5, for just applying to NATO. But if we can get a 5% bump on our GDP, that should equate to a 5% bump in income, which is at 81. That would be about $4 billion in income, I guess, which might actually put us over the deficit. And I don't know if we'll need another. If not, we can always do another company turnover tax, bumping that up to 1.5 billion. And the NATO file has been accepted. This basically means that they will examine our candidacy, announcing that the file has been accepted. Membership requests will thus be submitted to a vote by the organization members in a few days, hopefully to get the good news. And Rump has come back with a 2.06 offer. Let's go ahead and keep negotiating. We'll go to 2.37 and see how he comes back on that one in a few days. And if we can join NATO again, that would really strengthen our position geopolitically. Here we go. Family committee president. We're gonna have for a glass of wine. Tell her she's charming. Compliment her leadership, and then ask for.
If it makes you happy.
There it is. Give us that endorsement, and that's what we need from her. So we're at 62% popularity, applying to NATO and negotiating with the Americans for beer, and it looks like Portugal will accept the meeting with us. And I believe they had a number of areas that we had surpluses, and I believe they had demands. So that's something that, again, you have to check in the game, make sure you match up with the right countries. And if you're going to do a summit, they take up a lot of time. So, all right. So agricultural is about 17.5. Manufacturing was at 30%. This doesn't actually tell you, does it? Total production. This doesn't tell you. That's the consumption. We might need some more money to be spent there. But let's check on service industry. Our service industry is 38%. So 68 with service in that, 78, 85. That must mean about 15% from government, I guess, from government spending. Okay, so this looks pretty good. Let's go up to 2.26. Should be $13.5 billion, and the next offer we'll probably accept. Hopefully it's around 2.2 or around something like that, and we'll be looking pretty good as far as increasing our economy through trade. So far so good. Waiting to hear back from NATO. Summit coming up with Portugal, and negotiations with the Americans right now. So, the next election is going to be in 2021. We got plenty of time before that happens. One of my biggest concerns, I think, is going to be energy. I have to spend some money on energy, but I want a surplus first before I start spending. So, net total energy production is at 21 terawatts, but we consume 58, so we really need to start. Maybe even a solar plant might be a good idea. I think they brought in a pretty good amount. Or a nuclear plant. Nuclear plant would probably bring in the most, but do I want to go nuclear? I don't know if I want to go nuclear. All right, we're at 2.24. I think I have to accept this. $3.3 billion. Boom, we accept the contract, and we are now increasing the economy through trade, selling a large portion of our beer surplus, pretty much all our beer surplus, to the Americans.
Well done. You have just signed your first contract. A note from my department will allow a rapid expert appraisal on this contract.
Okay. Now, the other thing I did was I exonerated a few industries. And this will probably cut our profits a little bit, but potatoes, again, that's another stereotypical Irish product. I want to increase, we have a deficit with potatoes. So let's exonerate potatoes, and we'll see what the impact is of that. Aha! NATO membership granted. My congratulations, Prime Minister. I have the pleasure of announcing that your country is now part of our organization. The body of the members clearly voted in your favor. This is a big day for Ireland, but also for the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. 1.9 percentage bump on joining an international organization takes us up to 65 8% popularity, and that is fantastic. Things are going very well for us now. I'm just going to fire this away a little bit and move a little quicker here through time, through February, into February. And I want to see the results of the trade deal, which should have an impact on our economy. Aha! Trinidad and Tobago cell operational. Very good. That's something that we definitely needed. That's going to be our first target, and then the United Kingdom cell operational. Good. Right after we join NATO. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna recalibrate the week here, I think, at the end of Sunday. Here it comes. After this recalibration, we should find out exactly how much our GDP increased and what happened with our budget. So, in search of funding. Pause this for a second. Okay, we do want to get donations, so let's go ahead and meet with a rich donor. I think I am left-wing? Oh no, I'm right-wing. Okay, so we're going to go with the right-wing businessman. Who doesn't really... Oh, left-wing businessman is actually more favorable towards us, so we'll meet with him, I guess. And...
the EU Stability Pact. This is the agenda for the next summit.
That sounds like interest rates. And if we look at our current, we have the euro. Oh no, I don't want to leave the euro. Woo. Okay. Inflation's pretty low. Take a look at Ireland's economics here. All right, there's our GDP bump up to 248. Nicely done. Unemployment dropped from about 7% to 4%. Fantastic. Growth is now at 11%, and our inflation is still low at 0.6%. That looks fantastic, phenomenal. Let's check out our tax impact. And the budget deficit has now been dropped to 1 trillion from 2.58 before we made that deal to 1 trillion after. And I think pretty much a far away here. We'll go to the Portuguese Summit. Making a few deals with Portugal might actually put us over the surplus, so we don't have to increase taxes at all. I might just increase taxes anyways to give us a nice bump in surplus. There's a 2.5 bump in popularity from our improving economic situation, our budget situation, and a glass of champagne.
I'd be happy to.
Very good. Illegally fund the party. Oh, I thought you could fund.
That's very.
Too bad you can't fund legally. Yeah, let's see if we can make a reform before we do that. Let's see here. Elections. Cell operational in Venezuela. Beautiful. I also want cells in Cape Verde and Cuba are two of the other areas. Okay. Length of parliament, head of state, electing head of state, legalized voting. That's not what I'm looking for. Where is it? Funding. Under media? I don't think so. Somewhere there you have to be able to change. Freedom of expression. Private and public. There should be somewhere where you can change up the campaign funding laws. Another 0.5 bump. What's that for? Happiness declines. What are you kidding me? There's our Cuba cell.
Our infiltrated.
All right, and I don't know if I have a Cape Verde cell on the way. I guess I'll wait till public finance gives us a bump. I guess I'll wait till about March, and if Cape Verde cell, well, you know what? I can just go in and see. Cape Verde right there. That was a suggestion on the channel. Take Cape Verde, and then we can use it as a launch pad to conquer some of these West African countries here. Maybe make them our colony. Who knows? But right now, I'm also looking at Trinidad and Tobago as a launch pad for Venezuela and possibly Cuba. Again, that's our Irish imperialist goals. Increase our strength. Venezuela will be great because of all the oil reserves. We could sell off and trade and increase our economy and our military strength before we make a move on England. So let me take a look here. Let's go back into Secret Service. And exterior. Create a network. Do we have Cape Verde? Kosovo wants a meeting. I will take that meeting. Cape Verde. All right, let's set up a meeting. Let's set up a cell there. Confirm that. Boom, and we will take the meeting with Kosovo. See what they have. Is Kosovo part of NATO? I don't remember. Let's check it out. Kosovo is not part of NATO. No, they are not a NATO member. Neither is Austria. I thought Austria was. And then these Balkan states are not. Of course, that's Kaliningrad. And Sweden and Finland are remaining neutral on the sidelines in that conflict. In that Russo-NATO conflict that you always have to kind of be wary of in the game. Brazil, NATO and Russia are at war in my Brazilian game. Okay, so we're February 24th. I think we're coming up on the Portuguese Summit. Irish-Portuguese Summit will be tomorrow on Saturday the 25th. And here it is. Okay, Fernando Orica. And I will offer you coffee.
Sure. Dark and strong, please.
And I love your country.
Very kind.
Very kind. Well, let's see if we can renegotiate military contract here. Support. Let's see if we can't bump it up to an alliance straight up. And they accept. Very good. Can we get access? Maritime access is the most important. I don't need land access. No, refused. Let's just see if we can get maritime access. Ah, nice. Accepted. Beautiful. So we can now sail through Portuguese waters. That is a nice thing. Can't get... Just throw it all together, because what I really want is a base for the Canary... Not the Canary, the Azores, I think. Yes! Yes! Let's see if I can get one more base. Because Portugal has got some interesting... Yeah, man! Ripping it up. Give me one more. Give me a lot of Portuguese bases. Oh, man! We got 3! I'm gonna go one more. 4 Portuguese bases. 4 bases on Portuguese land. Boom! Alright, that should be enough. Alright, great meeting so far with the Portuguese. We now have complete access to all their land. We have a strengthened military alliance, and we have the authorization to build 4 bases on their territory. That's great. Okay, next step is trade. Now, excuse me, I no longer have an editing capability, so I couldn't edit my cough. Let me take a drink of water. Okay, now, let's see what any deals we can make as far as economics. I am looking to sell off chemical products, and they have a market for our chemical goods. All right, their consumption is much higher than their production, so we can go ahead and offer that. But their sales price is probably lower than ours. So no, we're not going to go for chemical industry here. Move on to the next one. Consumer electronics. I don't think this is kind of like nothing's going to happen there. With those numbers like that. Fish is the next step. They probably got a big fish. Look at that. But our price of fish is much higher than their price of fish, so we move down to liqueur. And nothing happened in there. Per milk. Milk is next. Possible. Nope. Price is too high. There was something I thought Portugal had. Perfumes. Where they had a good price. Nothing there in perfumes. Pork. Pork. No go on pork. Sheep. Sheep is a no-go. Maybe I was wrong about Portugal. Soda. Soda is the one. In our production of soda. They don't need soda. No. Last thing, sugar beets. Had to be sugar beets. No. Okay. I was completely wrong about the trade deal with Portugal. There's nothing that they have. Invite them to make the same quantified proposition at the next EU summit.
I understand what you're saying, but...
No. Alright, so we at least got something out of this meeting. We got some good military bases. Now let's take a look at Portugal here. This is interesting. The Portuguese... Yeah, look at that. Okay, we got the island of, I think this is Madeira. So we can build something there. We have the Azores out there in the Atlantic. And I thought this country's independent now. It used to be a Portuguese-based colony. So we got at least 2. And Kosovo is coming up.
Good morning. I didn't come empty-handed. In fact, I wanted you to see in order to submit to you this economic contract which, as you will see, is profitable for both our countries.
Let's see, what do we got? Cereal, they want us to buy. They want us to buy for a cheap price. They got a lot of production. This won't really have a big impact on our economy. I'm gonna refuse that one. No thank you, Kosovo. Coffee?
Sure. Dark and strong, please.
And that's about all we're gonna talk about. Goodbye. Alright, the other offer we can make is to China. And I'm not going to meet with China because that could have a negative impact on us politically, but they have a demand for something. Usually they're producers, but they do have a demand, I believe, for sheep. Which we have a lot of sheep, a decent amount of sheep. And they had a... No, I thought they had a good sales price. Alright, never mind. We're not going with them. Okay, the other country we might want to meet with... Well, I'd like to meet with Japan, but I doubt they meet with us. So I guess our next step is going to be to make another offer to the United States. Or maybe we can make an offer to Italy or France. France needs pork, and we do want to align closely with France and Germany. So let's go ahead and make a deal with France. We're going to want to probably buy weapons from them too eventually, but first let's get our economy in order. Pork was the big one for France. And this doesn't really bring in a lot of money, does it? Nope, I'm not looking for that. I think it might be time for a sales tax, or a company turnover tax hike. That will give us the surplus that we need. We're down to 500. Is this not playing? We're down to $556 million deficit. Million. So we're about to turn it over. All right, let's propose this tax. And I'm going to pause it for this. And this will be the last time I hike it up, I think. $1.6 billion. We're going to poll it. Give me that poll. Oh, man, a lot of people are against. All right, we're going to make it part of a new reform. We're going to call it Tax Reform 2. Tax Reform... Doing all this one hand. Tax Reform 2. Confirm that. Fire away, and let's add the inheritance tax reduction, 51 million. That'll get the old folks on our side and the conservatives, hopefully, which brings us to 53% vote, and that seems like all we need to do there. All right, so cutting that inheritance tax and raising the company turnover tax, and I think we're good to go. That should square ourselves financially with $1 billion surplus by the end of the first quarter. Ireland is looking good. Ooh, negative from industry and social. National holiday. What is that, St. Patrick's Day?
Everything has been implemented in the country to prepare for the national holiday.
Let's do it. I thought St. Patrick's Day was more of an American thing. Check out my calendar. When is the holiday? It is St. Patrick's Day. Wow. Interesting. Alright, we got the EU Summit coming up. We got a national holiday on St. Patrick's Day. And when is the vote going to go through here? Go to Parliament. Laws in progress. Passed on the 10th, it looks like. Voted on the 10th. Voted on, hopefully passed on the 10th. So we got a big month here in March. Let's get through this stuff and let's get a pretty good, pretty decent, what do you call it? Pretty decent first quarter results. Economic results. Irish newspaper. Check out what's going on here. Keep it rolling. Fruitful meeting. Ha, yeah, right. Nothing went on there. Elections for Arab something union. EU Summit. Stability Pact. Prime Minister, let's see. Gather to discuss the Stability Pact and define an acceptable limit for the budget deficit. I'm gonna drop it down. We want countries to be stable in Europe. President of European Commission. Well, after a round of conversations, we've reached consensus. The maximum budget deficit in the framework for the Stability Pact is now officially 3.07. It went up. Thank you for your attention. I propose we enter a reception room where dinner is waiting. Okay.
The vote was held and the reform was adopted.
This is beautiful.
I have to tell you that I am filled with pride to be the mother of a leader who is so loved by the people.
70% with another law passed, and this is going to seal the deal on our economics. We'll get it after this recalibration here. Ireland is looking good. Country is getting in order. The next step is going to be imperialism after this. So I'll probably meet with the French to try to negotiate an arms deal. And I guess I could maybe even sell them some... No, I can't sell them pork, right? They don't even want the pork. What is the tax situation? Budget excess, $960 million. And our public debt is now $242. Cape Verde cell, operational. Beautiful. Alright, I think all our cells are operational at this point. Let's go ahead and public finances, beautiful. 2.5 bump. We are moving forward. And it's about 30 minutes. So, let's see, we'll get to the holiday. Oh no, do we have the holiday? What happened? Did I not get to go to the Irish holiday? Uprising in Dublin. That was old. No uprisings on that last one. Oh, appearance at the National Festival. There it is. Maybe that'll give us a bump too. So, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this episode. I think I'm going to start off with the first quarter results next episode. And let's see, meeting with Romania. We will accept that. We're going to have that coming up in the next episode. Maybe we can sell them something. We'll get the first quarter results next episode, and we'll start moving towards building up our armed forces, and maybe even start building some of those bases in those Portuguese colonies. Ooh, that's interesting. Alright, so this has been fun. Thanks for watching. Again, if you'd like to support the channel on Patreon, the link is down below in the description. Anyone who supports will get preferential recommendations for next upcoming series and everything. Also, if you'd like to start following me on Twitter, I'm going to start doing some broadcasts pretty soon there. Try to get some weekly broadcasts going if I can, especially if I get some good Patreon money. So, thanks for watching, guys, or especially if people continue to contribute on Patreon. I'll definitely get some live streams going on here. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.